Welcome to GameDemo.com's review of Wii Play for the Nintendo Wii. The Wii Play comes bundled with a controller and a bunch of games, 9 of them total. This is great for those of you that need a controller. However, for those of you that already got 4, looks like it might be eBay time, myself included. Or perhaps you'll hang on to the new controller as a backup controller to cover that one that disappears into the void known as child denial. On to the review. The Wii Play is a 2-player game, unfortunately, and we wish some of the games had 4 players available. For this review, I'll select 1. There's 9 games total. You got the shooting range, Find Me, table tennis, Pose Me, laser hockey, billiards, fishing, charge, my personal favorite, tanks. We'll start this review out with the shooting range. The first game is the shooting range. It has you popping balloons, going through various different levels. You go from balloons to targets to clay birds to tin cans. I think that's the order. The last of the levels is probably the most interesting for me. It's alien abduction, very reminiscent of Defender, where you had to shoot the aliens down before they stole your little guys on the bottom of the screen. It'll be coming up here shortly. I enjoyed playing that one the most. A little afraid that they'll take my character off for that anal probe. Actually, I'm just making that part up. Would make for an interesting game, though, if they had a game called, maybe the Proctologist, they could call it. Can you imagine using the Wii controller on that game? But here we are. Here's the alien abduction. You gotta blast the spaceships before they steal your guys. In the multiplayer, you're trying to protect your own characters while letting your opponents' characters be whisked away for that enjoyable experience. As you're playing the single-player version of the game, you get you're competing against yourself, your personal best scores, and then also they throw you a bone and they give you the occasional award. I believe I get the bronze medal earned, and you achieve different medals as you get higher scores. Next game up is Find Me, the weakest, the second weakest of the games, I feel. Children may enjoy it. You got to match characters. As the levels progress, it does get pretty difficult, however. This one's pretty simple, but further on down the road, they start moving things around on you, changing the shirt colors, so it becomes a little more challenging. This all I gotta do is find myself. I don't understand why they put me in a pink shirt. Trying to tell me something? That gives you the basic idea of that game. Moving on, we got the table tennis. The limited size of the playing area makes the game somewhat frustrating. Also, the wonderment about hidden control techniques adds to the frustration of the annoying question, is there more? Next up is the Pose Me, which is the honor of being one of the most annoying game. You got to change your character's shape to match the shape that's in the bubbles. You got to spin it around. As the levels progress, you got to change between different shapes. In the multiplayer, it's a little bit more fun, but moving right on to the laser hockey, without a doubt. This is me and my wife's favorite. It's one of the simplest yet most enjoyable of the games. My wife and I are usually screaming profanities at one another in Chuck E. Cheese as we battle for supremacy on the air hockey table. So it's nice to have this game available to us without the emotional scarring to our children as they watch us get thrown out of Chuck E. Cheese by a large mouse. Next game up, Billiards. Billiards is one of the more adult titles in the bundled pack. You're able to move the direction of where the ball is going to go left and right. You select what part of the ball you'd like to hit, top, bottom, all that. You can do backspins on it. You move the controller back and then thrust it forward to take the hit. Moving on to fishing. My two kids seem to enjoy this. It's very simplistic in nature. You just grab the fishing rod, drop it into the water, and wait until you get a catch. Those of you that have played Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, it's sort of the light version of that. Not a lot to it. You drop it in. You do get bonuses if you catch the bonus fish, which is on the top of the screen. There's also mystery fishes available. You score negative points if you catch a small fry, so it can be somewhat challenging. As a multiplayer game, I enjoy competing against my daughters and crushing them and watching them sit there and cry. Moving on, we've got Charge. Charge is basically a cow racing game. You got to sit on top of a cow. You use the controller similar to other racing games with the Wii. You hold it sideways, tilt it left and right, lean it forward to accelerate, and lean it back to slow down. You can jump the cow over various obstacles. The multiplayer of it is a lot funner than the single player. Moving on to my favorite of the games, Tanks. Tanks is very simplistic in nature, yet there's a little bit of tactics sprinkled on top. You can bounce your shots off walls and move around. This is the easiest of the levels, level 1. Then as you progress, you get different tanks with different abilities. These have rockets available a little faster than your shots. The rockets do not bounce off the walls. As you progress into the harder levels, you get a variety of different tanks on the map that you must blast away at. In the multiplayer aspect of this, again, unfortunately, it's just 2-player, but you must compete against one another while also cooperating. The goal is to get at least one person through so you can get to the next level. So to sum it all up, would I recommend you go out and buy the Wii Play? Absolutely. It's a nice addition to the Wii Sports package. It's one of the few games available right now that make decent use of the Wii controller. Those of you with the Wii know that it seems the game companies are desperately trying to figure out ways to include the controllers, and more often than not, those attempts fall short. But some of the games in there are lemons, but there are a few gems included in it that I do recommend, such as Tanks and then the air hockey, and they make for a nice little party game that would be cross-generational. In other words, someone that's in their 60s would have just as much fun playing it as someone in their 8-year-olds. So that wraps up the review. It's been by GameDemo.com. In the future, we're going to have GameDemo.tv for those of you that are using your Wiis or PS3s to access the internet. The web pages will be designed specifically for those consoles, allowing you to access our content. This will be in a format that is specifically designed for the way the Wii accesses the internet. You can find that at GameDemo, GameDemo.tv.